live now. All right, we've been closed for about 2 minutes. Okay, so we just closed. Let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for July 28th, 2022. Q's up almost 1%. SPY up 1.25. Looks like we're also up a little bit more in the pre-market here. We do have Amazon and Apple reporting before tomorrow's open. So we may see a little bit more here from the market. And coming into today, a bullish bias. Okay. We were looking pretty weak. FOMC turned things around. And as we kind of expected, a little bit of a topsy-turvy, up and down, freely moving market. So we actually did come in initially. So we talked about yesterday, we have to see if the FOMC move gets negated. And starting off the morning, it did seem like there was potential for that. As you can see, right in the morning, we came all the way back down to where almost to where we were prior to FOMC. But what did it do? Spent the rest of the day rallying back up and actually breaking back over yesterday's high. So pretty bullish. Pretty bullish. So we got confirmation in that way, in that we saw what the sellers had, and in this tug of war, the bulls won by pulling it all the way back. Okay? So we are a little bit extended here on the hourly. We're not on the daily though. Daily still looks higher. Qs looks fine. SPY kind of broke the pivot yesterday and a little bit higher than that. Still has room to resistance. So both look higher still for the time being. Maybe not ideal as an entry here. Would be better if we got an hourly pullback. But given the bullish nature of all of the daily here, very impressive bullish nature, we do look higher. All right, so bullish going into tomorrow. And we'll see where we end up opening up. If we kind of open up maybe I think that'd be a pretty big gap. We are going to be reaching in 415, it looks like, on the SPY, where it's going to be reaching deep into some resistance there. We're not there yet, but something to keep in mind. And maybe we run up hard tomorrow. Maybe we run up more on Monday or gap up on Monday. Right, then that price level would be relevant. But for now, I'm just staying bullish. Okay? All right, let's go over the plays from today. We'll start off with the Hertz, which turned out to be a bit of a painful one today. Started off well. Played the first, this was the first thing I mentioned out of the gate here. 1, 2, 3 on the Hertz. This was an additional gap right there. 1, 2, 3. Up, inside bar, over that. Here was the gap. You can see gapping over multiple pivots on the daily. Did have some resistance there to the left, though. Something to note, but 1, 2, 3 right off the bat. Was out of some and then decided to add back to it on this breakout. Breakout ended up failing. Okay, as you can see here. Gave it one more shot here later on, as it looked like it was going to break out again. And again, the breakout, no follow through. This thing ended up just going to sleep after that. So lost a little bit on another breakout that did not follow through. So that was tough because it started off well, locked in some profit initially, and then added to it. Was still actually up on it, and then the last time it failed ended up being down on it. So what started off as kind of a nice symbol for me ended the day down a little bit on it. So yeah, that was a little bit of a tough trading there with the HTZ, and it constantly looked good and stayed strong. And even at the end here, it did close pretty strong here, but started to kind of lag the market a little bit as the market started to make new highs. This one started to struggle a little bit. So that was the first play. Kind of did wrestle with it throughout the morning. Merck was my second play. Merck was just a breakdown in the morning. Look at that base breakdown there. So this did report earnings, but it didn't gap. I just picked it up because I was going through the earnings list again. And that was just a very clean base breakdown. I put the stop up here, kind of more consolidation there on the MRK. So there it is. And I really liked what I was doing on the daily, which was clearing here. So I saw the support there, 88.91, and we were already clearing that, okay, and breaking through. So yeah, and first targets came up right here. Took another portion here, So the first couple exits were good, but then I did try to hold a runner, and I didn't have anywhere to trail yet. I was using the hourly, whenever that should form, and it just went all the way back up. So lost on the runner, but overall the Merc did work. It's just that last quarter piece went all the way back up and took out the stop. So impressive recovery there by the Merc. I mean, with that daily, and I thought we had more room to go. I wanted to be in this all day should it continue. Okay, given where it was on the daily, given the pivot it was breaking. So was looking for a little bit more on this one, but that's okay. Still an okay play. Now, as far as holding something all day, pack would have been great. Gave you numbers on this pack, but I couldn't get filled. I could not get filled on this. You notice how the Merc and the pack are very, very similar entries. Here it is on the pack. Gave you the numbers. It was only like a 12 cent stop, and look at it. So I do think if I had gotten filled on this, I probably would have taken the whole thing here because of the acceleration that we got, because of how much it was down. I think I was about 4 Rs at this time, given the play earlier. I think I would have decided to just take it and not live through the pullback. Although you can see when we look at it, probably another maybe equal size move to the one that we would have gotten if we'd gotten filled on the breakdown. So this one, just, that's what we want. That's why we play gaps, right? So we can get something like that. So then even if you get only half the move on something like that, it's still a 4-hour play. But sometimes it's out of your control, whether you get filled or not, whatever, but that would have been really, really nice on the pack. Okay. So, so I mean, more gap plays. I think you're noticing more gap plays here, more earnings plays, right? A little bit less, at least for me, focusing a little bit less on the scalps. They're there. I am seeing, some moves here and there. XELA, I think the Siri also. There were some scalps here and there. CYH a little bit. But my focus right now is on the gaps and the earnings. Okay, because we are seeing them move. We are seeing them give setups. If I happen to catch the scalps, but there's just, kind of so much to look at, and, I'll still play them, but yeah, these are really showing up, the gaps and the earnings movers. So, and, earnings season is about to start peaking soon. So we're definitely in the swing of things. A lot of big tech names this week. So should be kind of warmed up and ready. You should, I think, if you're active and you've traded earnings season before, should be able to start to kind of feel the difference. Also feel like you're kind of warming up into it. You're starting to see more things move. Maybe you feel like you're missing out on some stuff. That's usually how I know earnings season has started, is that I'm seeing stuff and feeling like, man, I couldn't catch that, or I missed that. Like this SWK I really liked. Really liked the gap on this, breaking support, and then it kind of rallied first, which kind of made me not focus on it as much, and then eventually, got going there, and completely opposite to the market. So that's why we like the gaps too, because a lot of times that weakness is going to stand out, and it's going to be on its own page, regardless of what the market does. All right. Hope you did well today. We will be back at it tomorrow, and I will talk to you then. Have a good evening.